I arrived to the city of Cairo and quickly found my way to Holy Sheet Hostel, where I stayed the entire length of my trip. I highly recommend this hostel for other solo travelers. Now, for the actual city of Cairo itself, there's only one word I can think of to describe it, and that is overstimulating. The sounds of horns honking and people yelling and the smell of exhaust became a little bit overwhelming for this Midwestern girl, so I headed out to the desert for a slightly calmer environment. Now, I would only say a slightly calmer environment because I still had a lot of fun adventuring through the desert. We drove through the sand dunes and sandboarded on our way to the lake. Now, I have to be real with you and say that I mistakenly booked a private tour through the desert, thinking that it was a group tour with other travelers as well. I was lucky enough that my tour guide was a woman. However, be careful when booking on Get Your Guide because it might not say private tour. I still had a lot of fun regardless, and I didn't feel unsafe, but things can happen and it's important to take care of your own safety when traveling alone. After about an hour of driving, we reached our viewpoint of the lake where we could see for miles, and it was so beautiful. Most of the tour guides also study this in university, so they're very educated on the history of Egypt, which is why it's even more important to tip them to show your appreciation. Oh, by the way, Cairo was such an inexpensive city to travel in. I'm talking like 90 cents for an Uber. Like literally 90 cents. It was insane. The next day, I booked another private tour, accidentally of course, inside the Great Pyramid. Now, this is not for those who struggle with claustrophobia. You have to crouch down in many places, and it is very, very hot inside. But this is definitely something you have to do when in Giza. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Many, many steps later, I finally made it to the tomb. Empty, of course. Then it was time for my camel ride. This has been on my bucket list since before I can remember, and I know I've said this a million times, but it truly was a once-in-a-lifetime experience. After my camel ride, I went to visit the Sphinx and of course gave her a little kiss. Then I went to the market to buy souvenirs for my family before heading to the airport once again.